What about our vows for richer, for poorer?
Well, I'm sorry, but I need a man who can take care of my needs. And that man is not you.
Have yourself a nice life.
Visits Scott at the office and finds him with another woman. She's now all alone without anyone to take care of her needs.
The apex, the point where the two lines touch at the tippy top. The breakout time frame. How far into the pattern does the breakout occur? On this ascending triangle, we're going to measure exactly how far into this pattern, how far into the apex are we, what is the breakout target, and what is the likelihood of it breaking to this specific target. As well, Bitcoin coming back to the top of this descending channel to find support. Will we continue and hit certain targets on the upside? Or in fact, could we revisit some lower targets that we've been mentioning? As well, Bitcoin continues to find resistance and support right on this line, guys. What is the next level to the downside and to the upside that if we break, we could be initiating the breakout? We are days away from a breakout. We're actually going to give you our time frame of when we think it'll occur, and again, what the most likely scenario is. Let's dive into it. Wow, what's going on, my little chungalungas? Welcome back to a really exciting episode. So much to get into, guys. Bitcoin is on the verge of a break. Now, this will be the deciding factor. If and when this breakout occurs, one group of people will be proven right. There are people saying that we could be breaking out to 8,000 or 9,000, and there are people saying we're entering this trajectory going down to 2,000, possibly even a little lower than that. So with this breakout, this is huge. These are the deciding factors here, guys. We can take a look at this triangle. Again, this is going to be the most important area. If we take a zoom out to this chart, you guys can see if we come down to certain areas, bearish territory. If we go up, absolute bull mode. So what is most likely? We're going to measure this triangle, which is going to be very interesting, and show you some targets here. So guys, if you're interested in this ledger, make sure to leave a comment below, hit the dings, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's do this. So this really is do or die, ride or fly time here, guys. This is absolutely bonkers. So crucial right now, because if we come down, I think there is some, again, very good support in this area down here, the 5,500 and even as low as the 5,000. Now, if this does break, guys, if over the next day or two or even lower than that, we're going to talk about specific time frames. If we do get a break here, and if the break breaks us below 5K, then bearish territory is initiated, and we're going to be seeing some bad times. But guys, as you know, we've had an ascending triangle before. If we take a zoom back to this chart, you guys remember this one. This was the huge one back at the beginning of 2019 that skyrocketed us over $11,000. Will we get something similar? This would be a much smaller one, in my opinion, if we're forming this. But this is very interesting to take a look at. So the actual breakout area, if we measure from the base here to the apex, which is right here, it's about 197 days, and currently we're 142 days into that. So if we take 142 divided by the 197 there, so we're about 72% to the apex. So 72%. So this is really interesting to take a look at. The breakout time frame, the ideal breakout point occurs 1/2 to 3/4 of the way through the pattern's development or time span. The time span of the pattern can be measured, basically just how I did it. A break before the halfway point might be premature, and a break too close to the apex may be insignificant. So what they're saying there basically is a break too early could be a fake out, and in a break right near the apex could be insignificant. So ideally we want this time frame here. So I'm going to say within the next 4 days, okay? So specifically a 2 to 4 day window. I think if we wait till after the weekend is over, that would be ideal. Hopefully that might happen. You guys know about the CME gaps. Even if you don't like or care or believe in the CME gaps, it would just be better in the back of all of our minds if we didn't have to have that idea that there is a gap, say maybe around like this area, and we break up to 9,000 or 8,000, and then we'd have to come back to revisit that. It would just be better for everyone if we didn't have to deal with that. So again, we're about almost 75% of the way to the apex. Very important. So again, I think we're going to see the breakout here coming out soon. The breakout target, if we measure from the base here and kind of transpose it over here, the breakout target is roughly $9,100 or about $9,000. But again, guys, I don't necessarily know if we're going to get that, because I think there's just so much resistance here right above us, specifically at the 78 and the $8,000, $8,200 level. I think there's a lot of resistance there. So on this chart, what that looks like is here, pretty much right in between the 21 and the 50-day moving averages right here. It puts us right to about these two lines, in between these two lines, which again, I think is going to be a very interesting level to see if we can break, because we weren't able to break it prior. We weren't able to find support here about a month and a half ago. And as well, if we switch over to this chart, the $8,000 level actually puts us right at the very tippy top of this pattern on the 4-hour chart, and it's this blue line. This blue line goes back 6 years. Guys, I'm not gonna zoom out all the way, but you can see if we keep going back, this will go. This is on the 4 hour. I'm not gonna switch to the daily or weekly to get everything in there. But this blue line goes back 6 years. Now you can see when we first broke that, absolutely plummeted. You can zoom in. When we broke that, you saw we got a bounce there. When we broke it, we plummeted. This is the most important line on this chart right now, in my opinion. So if we broke 8,000, that would be amazing. But again, I think there's going to be a lot of resistance there. I think it might be hard to get above. This is going to be like the major area. If we get a break to the upside, this is an area you want to watch out for. If we break this, then it's absolute moon time. But guys, I think it might be pretty hard to break that. I think that's definitely the biggest obstacle in our path to the upside. To the downside in the short term, I definitely think we could find support maybe on the 65 and at the very lowest within this pattern to remain bullish, like the 62. If we break 62, and if like we go on this chart, we can actually switch here. If we break 62 and we come down to like that 5,400, the $5,000 level, that's much more bearish. Obviously, that would be a break out of this triangle to the downside. But to the upside, usually these patterns break to the upside, so we're gonna go with that. But if we do break 54 and 5,000, guys, then the floor is out pretty much. We could go much lower. Just being honest, if we break that, again, we'll see this when this actually breaks out. We have to wait and see. The return to the apex after the breakout, the apex can turn into future support and resistance, okay? So most likely, if we did, let's say we do break out, let's say we get a breakout here, it's not bad to think that we actually might come back here, find support, and then continue upwards on the upside. Okay, so that's really important to note there. If we break to the downside, there's going to be a lot of resistance getting above that 65 and that 63 in between that whole area. It's going to be really hard to get above, in my opinion. So we're really getting down to crunch time, really important. And again, on this chart here, you see this descending channel. This is very key. We need to remain, right now, we broke above it. We found resistance there, and we're finding support right here. As long as we can maintain here, which brings it all the way down to about the $6,500 level, if we can remain above 65, that can be really bullish over the next few days. Ideally, what I would like to see happen is over the next 36, maybe 24 hours, we stay above 65, but not necessarily above 69. We stay kind of between 65 and 7,000. And then as the week opens up, maybe Monday or Tuesday, maybe get a massive breakout. That would be the best case scenario. That would put us well within that 4-day window there. I think that's probably the most bullish thing to look at. But we really have to keep an eye on this pattern here, guys. I definitely think it's consolidating, and I think this is pretty much where we are. I think we're going to see a breakout before, at the very latest, a week from now. So within the next week, okay? And I think it's going to be explosive. We haven't really gotten a nice breakout in a while. These have been pretty small moves, substantially like culminating here. So a nice big break would be awesome. And a nice big break would be welcome as well after having such a massive dump. We had some nice run-ups during this triangle here, going from 5,400 to about 7,000 in a matter of about a week, just a few days actually. So that's really important. But yeah, a really nice breakout would be very welcome. But most likely to the upside, I think this is going to be a lot of resistance. And guys, if we switch to this chart here, you can see we can actually pull out the VPVR. Let's actually go to the daily time frame so you guys can see this better. You guys can see right here, this $8,000 level is such a massive area of resistance. Right now, we're currently sitting above a very big level of support right here. So I think that's very important. You guys can see that here. This is a very key level. We found support here. So as long as we continue that, I think that's pretty bullish, but we need to remain above that. And again, this level is going to be such big resistance. And again, breaking above this is going to be absolutely crucial. Not so sure just yet that we have it in us. Not sure if we can do that, but definitely something you got to watch out for and be prepared for. All these things are lining up. This pattern is looking beautiful still. It is still completely valid. And these lines have just been acting so perfectly with resistance and support. So I'm keeping an eye on this one first and foremost, but as well, obviously, definitely this triangle. And we want to see a bounce here as well. Let me actually zoom in here on this chart. We want to see a bounce up to there. Wow, and I forgot to add this part into the video. This here, which lines up perfectly with the downside target of the 5,000 and the 5.4K on the 4 hour. On the daily, this is why this is so important as well, because the 5.4 right about here, and then the 5,000 is right here, guys. So this is why this is so key. Basically, this little pennant right here has to be support if we want to remain anywhere near bullish. So if this area falls through, it's bear time. Now we can also show you this if we zoom back out. This is a very important line, this purple one, okay? We would be breaking some key structure again. We did initially break that structure back when we initially fell, but we very quickly found some support here, okay? It's been a very key area. So if we can remain above this, then I think that's the most key thing. Again, this is on the daily chart. To remain bullish for the short term going into the summer and the middle of this year, guys, Q3 and Q4 as well, we need to stay above this area right here at the very lowest. So as long as we remain above that, again, right now we're testing the top of this. And again, if we came back in here, that wouldn't even necessarily be bad, guys. You know, a retest of the top of this triangle would also be good. So definitely something to check out. So guys, thanks so much for watching. And if you're interested in some extra TA, check out T4.